So, do you have all three: postpartum depression, anxiety, and OCD? If you're wondering if you have all three of these things at the same time, stay tuned because I will let you know. Hi, I'm Danielle Cotis, maternal wellness coach. I help moms who are suffering with postpartum depression, anxiety, and OCD heal naturally using energy healing, energy psychology, and nutrition. So, do you have all three? I am not a therapist. I am a maternal wellness coach. But talking from personal experience of dealing with all three, I'm going to give you my take on the fact that I think that most moms deal with all three to varying degrees. So if you're not sure if you have all three, let's get into it. All right, so typically what ends up happening is that I call it a vicious cycle, right? And what we're trying to do is break that vicious cycle. But what is this vicious cycle, right? So a lot of us are going to have scary thoughts. All of us are going to have some sort of scary thoughts, right? Or some version of anxious thoughts. So those thoughts and anxious thoughts cause obviously anxiety. And then because we have these thoughts, right? These thoughts that make us feel bad about ourselves, we feel lots of shame and guilt, right? All of that shame and guilt leads to depression. And then we get the anxiety part of it, the scary thoughts, anxious thoughts, right? Feeling guilt and shame because we have them. And then we hit the depression. And somewhere in there sometimes is a little bit of postpartum rage. If you don't know what that is, check out my video. I linked it below about postpartum rage. So it's sort of this constant cycle. So I hate when you go to the doctor's office and they ask you those questions at your 6-week checkup, are you crying all the time? Are you anxious all the time? Are you feeling hopeless? Are you feeling this? Are you feeling that all the time, all the time, all the time? And as I discussed, a lot of this is not linear, right? So you may not be feeling all of these things all the time. It may come in waves, right? And it's really interesting because mine came in such big waves. And sometimes it was during the day of waves. Sometimes it was days of different feelings. Sometimes it was weeks and months of different feelings, right? So each one of you is going to be a little bit different. Again, I always suggest that you reach out to your healthcare provider immediately if you are watching these videos. There is no shame in getting help. In fact, you can't heal unless you get some sort of help, and that you're making sure that you're seeing a maternal mental health specialist or a postpartum mental health specialist or a perinatal mood disorder specialist to help you with these signs and symptoms, right? To help you get rid of your depression, your anxiety, or learn to manage them. So anyway, when we're talking about this vicious cycle, in terms of me and my clients, everybody kind of goes through a little bit of different things. But let me just give you some signs and symptoms that you might be dealing with all three. So we're talking about extreme guilt and shame. So feeling like a failure, right? Like I talked about in the postpartum depression videos. Check that out. I linked it below. The amount of shame and guilt you feel because you are failing, right? You're feeling like a bad mom, like your kids would be better off without you. Especially if you're having these thoughts, right? These scary thoughts that it makes you feel bad about yourself, right? Check out the scary thoughts video and the postpartum OCD video. They're going to make you feel so much shame and guilt, like something is very wrong with you. And lots of shame and guilt lead to depression, right? Also, we talked about missing our old life, right? So if your life right now like sucks, right, and you're miserable, of course you're going to be missing your old life and what you used to do and how you used to feel and how you used to be and how you used to look and everything like that, right? So all that shame and guilt is coming, right? Every single time you have these scary, anxious thoughts, any kind of thoughts about your past, it just keeps going. And then what happens is we kind of go into this thought process of, oh shit, is this going to be our life forever? Oh my God, what if I can't go back to work? What if I can't heal? What if I can't feel like myself again? What if I get sick, my kid gets sick? What if I don't have enough money for daycare? Don't have enough money for this? What if I don't have the time? What if I can't get better? What happens if? What happens if? What happens if? Right? So now we hit this anxiety, right? And it's on the rise. So then you keep going, right? And then here come more anxious thoughts. And then because now you have more anxiety, right? Now you have more scary thoughts, right? More intrusive thoughts, lots of harm of yourself, harm of your baby, all kinds of different crazy thoughts, right? So then of course, here we go again. Now we feel guilt and shame because of it. And then we go back into the depression. So you may find that there are times where you are just racing, right? Racing with thoughts, not being able to sleep, feeling lots of insomnia, right? Not being able to fall asleep, stay asleep. You're just running at this high level, right? Like we talked about in the postpartum anxiety video. You're just running at this high level. And then you might have a breakdown. Now, one of two things is going to happen during your breakdown. You're either going to have a panic attack and start crying, or you're going to hit a depression and be crying. So no matter what happens, your body can't handle this amount of constant, anxiety, depression, OCD, anxiety, depression, OCD. It's just constant, right, for you. And you're going to have breakdowns. Sometimes the breakdowns will come in forms of anger, like I said, postpartum rage. That may be your breakdown. Everybody responds a little bit differently. But the mere fact that you need to know if you probably have all three is if you're experiencing different things, right? So when somebody said to me, you had postpartum depression, like, I can't really say that I was depressed every single second of every day or couldn't get out of bed. Now, for you, that may be your symptom where you can't get out of bed, you have no energy, whatever. I had a little bit of both, right? The depression where I would have days where I would be crying and feeling suicidal. And then I would have other days where I'd be having a panic attack because I thought something was going to happen to me or to my child, or my life would never be the same. So it was never for me this constant depression or this constant anxiety, or at least that I knew of, right? So when I do these videos, I'm trying to help you understand from a mom who's been there and who coaches moms who have been there, that what they have on these checklists when you go see the doctor isn't exactly correct, because you may not be feeling that way all the time, and you may not, all the symptoms are varying, right? So it's kind of trying to figure out if you are feeling some extremeness, right, of anxiety, or some extremeness of depression, or those obsession over the scary thoughts, like chances are you're going around this vicious cycle and you're dealing with all three. Now, if you're just dealing with the depression aspect of it, right, then you know that that's what you have. If you're just dealing with the anxiety of it, that's probably just what you have, right? If you're dealing with the postpartum OCD, it's probably a little bit of anxiety and OCD combined. But I truly think that if you have OCD, it's really everything, right? But at least you know that this is what you have now, and you can go get help and support. This is totally curable, totally treatable. You can totally heal, feel like yourself again, feel safe and secure in your body, find your zest for life. Like, you can absolutely do these things. You just need support. So if you are watching these videos and you're saying, oh, I don't want to get support, I'm afraid to get support, I'm going to link a video of why you need support, right? But you need to go and get it, like right now. Please don't wait. These are why I'm doing these videos. My mission is to ensure that no mom ever suffers with postpartum depression, anxiety, or OCD ever again. And that if they do have it, they have tools and resources to heal, and that they go get the support that they need and deserve right this second. So please don't wait. Your symptoms will only get worse. I want it to feel so much better for you, so much lighter, and it absolutely can. So if you're second guessing yourself on what you have and if you should get help, please don't. Just go get help anyway. Go get help anyway. You will be so thankful that you did. Why stay in the same spot and next year let it be worse, right? If you could just go get some help and actually feel better in a couple of weeks or couple of months, right? Why wait? Okay, if this video was super helpful for you, please give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications for when I post new videos. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave comments below. You can also DM me on Instagram at your mom coach. I love hearing from you guys. I am always answering my DMs. So if you're not sure what's going on, you need some help and direction, I am absolutely here for you. And until next time, sending you so much light and love.